Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to this week's coffee chat. Okay, hopefully lots of you can join in and make the chat. I'm Lorraine, owner of pregnancyexercise.co.nz. I've been in the fitness industry now for more than 25 years. And we focus here on the coffee chat on all topics relating to pre and postnatal exercise and wellness. Now, I'm just going to try and get a little bit better light. Okay, so just excuse me here. So that's probably going to be a little bit better for everybody. Okay, not great on YouTube. We're actually streaming live on YouTube also. Hi, Angela. Thanks for joining in. Please make sure you let me know that you're there so I'm not just talking to nobody. I know a couple of you are jumping online. Now, today's topic, I didn't want to get any sort of backlash from this because, a lot of people can say, or a lot of pages can say, it's not the focus to lose the mummy tummy. Okay, I know it's not. Okay, you can see from what we normally discuss, okay, that it's not a priority. But today's topic is why it can be so hard to lose that last little bit of the mummy tummy, okay? And I personally know that so many of you are frustrated about that, okay? So if you're frustrated about that last little bit of a bulge, okay, regardless of where it is, and I'm going to go into that in more detail shortly, then please stay online because I'm going to give you lots of answers and tips to help you get rid of that last little bit. If you're perfectly happy, with your mummy tummy, the way it is, the way it looks, fine, that's fantastic. But I really know that some of you aren't, okay? And it can be quite frustrating. So what are we talking about here? Okay, I'm going to show you. Okay, so for some of you, that leftover bit postnatal could be protruding out at the top of your abdominals. It could be a little bit that's just a little bit further down. It could be sticking out right in the middle, but it's a little bit and it doesn't seem to go away no matter what you do. Okay, this may be something that you've been looking at for months, even years, and yet still there's this tiny bit that won't go away. So what is it? Can you help it? Okay, can your abdominals become flatter, more toned as they were pre-pregnancy? Or is it something that you just have to put up with and deal with and go, well, that's how it is post-pregnancy. Okay, I'll suck it up. I don't like it, but I'll learn to live with it and I'll learn to love it, okay? And we all know we want to feel good about ourselves, okay? So again, we shouldn't put ourselves under any pressure, all right? But there's a lot of things why we can still have a mummy tummy left over from pregnancy or after so many pregnancies, regardless of what we do. Okay, so make sure everybody is saying hi. Make sure you're giving this video the thumbs up, otherwise it's not going to go anywhere on Facebook. So we are going to go through quite a lot of factors that can, be related as to why you still may have a mummy tummy in the upper part of your abdominals or in the lower part. And please put your comments online as to where you're feeling it, what you're not happy with, how we can change it, what you think you maybe need to do. And as we go through the factors, okay, so based on the 20 years experience I've had, there's lots of factors as to why in certain places you may have a certain bulge. Hi, Leanne. Hi, Fazia. Okay, so let's go through the topic I discuss probably the most out of everything, which is diastasis recti. Is that tummy bump, that little bit of bulge, that last bit of your mummy tummy, a diastasis? Well, what you need to do to rule out the diastasis is if your diastasis is quite functional, so that means you can create good tension, it's not wider than 2.5, perhaps 2.5 centimeters. This will vary from person to person. Then it's unlikely that it's still the diastasis affecting your tummy bulge. Okay, if your diastasis, where it is bulging out, so this is what you've also got to look for as well. So where you have that tummy bulge, okay, so everything's different. When we measure a diastasis, okay, so with the diastasis can separate anywhere along your linea alba. Okay, we're all a little bit different, and it can depend on where your pregnancy, baby pushed out on more, how you carried baby, etc. So some of you may have a bump. Let's make a bump at the bottom. So if your diastasis is more deeper below your belly button and it's still quite deep here, then that bulge can definitely be related to the diastasis and why you still have that bulge. Same up here. Some mums, I can't do this, okay, have a bulge above the belly button, okay? But again, if the diastasis is closed above the where the bump is, then it's unlikely that it's a diastasis, okay? So we need to look at that to rule out if it's still the diastasis, okay? So often we can rule out a diastasis, especially once it's functional, with that remaining bump through the abdominals. So that's your diastasis point. So all make sure and check with our videos. Once we've gone offline and finished recording, I'm going to add lots of links in this post so you can check. I'll put the diastasis check in and I'll put the functional assessment link in. Okay, next factor. Is it fat? Okay, so how do we know if it's fat or, again, a diastasis or something else, which I'm going to cover? Try not to look at weight. Generally, okay, because it's all different, because we can lose muscle, we can increase muscle, and we all know that muscle weighs heavier. But a good guide is that if you feel that you are still 5 or 6 kilos overweight, a dress size or more up from what you were pre-pregnancy, then there's a good chance that it is abdominal fat, okay? Fat just sitting on your abdominals, okay? So that's contributing, and it's just hanging around which we're going to get into again, that you're not using, okay? Parts of the body where we're not activating. And remember, as females, we do need fat. We do need to store fat. We don't naturally have a washboard stomach, okay? Our hormones, okay, where our ovaries are, we have a little protective layer here, okay? And that's females, that's what we have, okay? We always have a little stomach. That's fine. That's okay. That's how we were born. We all have that protection layer, okay? But increase fat, okay? So a good guide is dress size, if you go on that, weight. Also, have a good pinch, have a look at it. If when you pick it up, does it look a little bit like cellulite, okay? And then that can be a good guide to say that you are, a little bit of extra weight. And then we can look at your diet as well. So again, there's so many contributing factors as to why you can still have this extra bulge or mummy tummy. What do you want me to call it? Postnatal. What's PC? Okay, I always get, there's so many different views here, and I'm sure I'm going to be crossing over. All right, so we'll look at hormones. So we've just briefly spoken about hormones. Okay, hormones fluctuate so much postnatal, and I am not just talking early postnatal. For the 5 and 10 years we are postnatal. In fact, our hormones may never be the same again, because by the time we're coming out of the whole long postnatal phase, hello premenopause, okay? And then they change again. Hormone fluctuations really, really affect how you carry weight. Stress can cause us to hold on to fat reserves around the abdominal areas and through the hips. Sleep deprivation completely changes how our hormones act, then that awful hormone cortisol will play havoc with our cycles and our food cycles and our nutrition, which again, I'm going to get into. Okay. So hormones, a big player there. All right. Now, one of the main, there's a couple of things, factors rather, which I find lead to why women have still got that mummy tummy. One is a food intolerance, not activating the core muscles correctly, still doing the wrong exercise, and stress. Okay, they're my top 4 as to why women, and maybe the diastasis as well. Okay, but and that goes to core function. Okay, they're the top ones as to why you may still have the mummy tummy. Hi, Trudy. Thanks, Thomas. Okay, so food intolerances, massive. What I've just been saying about your hormones is in the postnatal period and when we're sleep deprived, okay, our bodies are going into sort of a protection mode. And it can start to, these hormones start to react in different ways. And all of a sudden, you may find you have a food intolerance, which you may never have had before, to perhaps wheat, to sugar, to dairy, and immediate stomach bloating can occur. Okay, this is definitely, I want you to all think about this if you have. Okay, so how can you tell, how obvious is it if you have got some sort of food intolerance? If I press on a mummy's tummy when they come into me, if it's quite hard and firm, that tends to make me think that there's an irritation and a food bloating. Also, if you wake up, mums, if you wake up in the morning and your stomach's much flatter and less protruded than normal, and then as soon as you've gone in at breakfast, an hour after that, bump, your stomach pushes out, then I would say there's a high chance now you've got a food intolerance. And what that does is everything becomes irritated. It creates more fluid goes to the area, and then it's much harder for your brain to connect to your core muscles to activate your core muscles. It's very, very hard to activate these core muscles with lots of bloating and irritation. So that's one of the things that you need to look at and start to assess yourself, okay? So try and see throughout the days, if some days are better than others, it may be because you had perhaps a smoothie for breakfast with no wheat, or it may be because you had eggs and toast and no dairy for breakfast one morning that you're feeling okay. Okay, so definitely have a note of that. And the main curses are probably wheat, dairy, and sugar. Okay, and it doesn't mean that you have to eliminate these forever. It might just be for 6 months, 12 months, or through, again, once we're through this sort of real full-on postnatal phase. I think we really need to look at the postnatal phase being until your kids go back to school, basically to school at 5. Okay, and that's where you're in the real throes, not the dark side, could be, of postnatal recovery. So think about that, everybody. Exercise you're doing. Are you doing the right exercise? Are you activating correctly? Okay, you may still, I'll just give you a couple of pointers, is if you've still got the bulge at the bottom, you may think you're activating your core, but you may be activating the upper abdominal still too much, which is causing the push out down below. Okay, if it's the opposite way round, so you're finding you still got this bump above your navel, then you need to actually start to activate your core muscles a little bit differently through your exercises. And that's what I go through with my clients and my clients online, and what we're going to go through in the brand new program, which is launching in August. Okay, so we've got a brand new program coming. Heard it first. First time it's been mentioned. Woohoo! Okay, so what we're going to go through today is, I think, because we want to try and approach so many different topics and factors and stresses of the mummy tummy, I think we'll go through the exercises and create it more of a workshop in next week's coffee chat. So make sure you join me for that. Okay, so again, your exercise can definitely be a factor. Now, the final, one of the last points, okay, is stress. All right. And again, stress, postnatal, lots of young children to look after. I want you to think about what I tell my clients, and it often, drives a big point through, is to get the most benefit out of your exercise, nutrition, rest, and recovery. Your daily stress levels must be under a 5, okay? And I measure that in 0 to 10, okay? So 0 is mellow. Oh, I am so chilled out, got no stress. Okay, who's in that zone? Maybe for half an hour when I'm having my coffee, okay? Normally, I'm around about a 2 to a 3. When the kids come home, 6, 7, okay, but then it comes back. So the majority of the day and through the night, you need to be under a 5. If you're finding yourself with work, with kids, lack of sleep, breastfeeding, running around, in between that 5 and 10, if you're sitting around 6s and 7s a day, you are not gonna get the changes that you want to with your exercise and your nutrition. It actually starts to become quite ineffective, okay? And also, some easy stresses to take off you straight away is your own pressure. Don't put yourself under too much pressure to get the housework done. I've got to go to that aerobics class. I've got to go and blast myself in an RPM class. No, you don't. It might actually better. Okay, we all know about this burns so many calories. This burns so many calories. Go run, go hard to burn more calories. But if that's stressing you out, exercise can be too much of a stress on your body, and it's an added stress. So a 40-minute walk could be much better off for you than going smashing yourself for 30 minutes. Okay, so weigh up your exercise, what you're doing, weigh up that pressure, what you're adding to yourself. That can easily decrease your pressure and quite quickly to start to get it below that number 5, which we need to get the effects we want from our exercise and nutrition. Okay, guys, so start adding your questions and comments in for me to answer. I'm going to go through. So if you're struggling, if you're frustrated with that last little bit of your mummy tummy, check your diastasis. Okay, give it a good check. Is it functional? Where is it deep? Check the linea alba tension. I'll put that on for you. Fat. We need to check, is it fat? Is it just excess weight? Hormones play a big part. Is it a food intolerance? Are we still not doing our exercise correctly? Are we under too much stress? Okay, once you've gone through our No More Mummy Tummy Challenge and Birth to Fit Mum programs, we start to need to increase the level of intensity of exercise, what we're doing, so we can get more effect through our core and increase our all-round core strength, muscle tone, strength, and fitness. And one of the best things you can buy at home for increasing resistance is an exercise band, guys. Okay, these are amazing. There are so many fantastic core exercises you can do with a band to help you connect and re-engage with your core muscles correctly to help you get rid or reduce that last little bit of your mummy tummy. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed today's 20-minute coffee chat. quite interesting. Hopefully it's given some of you lots of tips and thoughts to take away. Don't forget about your posture as well. See, just so many factors. Okay, remember, this is something else, I just want to go through quickly before I forget. Posture. You're doing all the exercise. You're doing all the nutrition. But then the rest of the day, which can be about another 15 hours, we're walking around like this. So we're pushing it back out again after we've just been connecting and reconnecting with it. Okay, so posture. Think about that too, girls. Hi, Hannah. What's this question? Hi, does having a C-section add to the lower tummy bulge? Absolutely. Okay, and this, again, can be very different from person to person, C-section to C-section, who did your C-section, how you were stitched up, okay, how quickly you were stitched back up, and how quickly you were also opened up. So C-section scars done under emergency tend to be a lot bigger. Okay, just because they've gone in really, really quickly to perhaps save mum or baby's life. So under a lot of stress, baby's pulled out quite significantly. More scar tissue maybe increased there as well. Okay, so depending on how well you are stitched up, because what happens is when they stitch you up here, okay, the muscles are nothing's cut, they're just moved away. It's your brain's neural activation below that scar, which can cause it still to protrude outwards, because brain's got a lot of scar tissue, okay, to get through. The neural connections have been really stretched and can be quite poor, especially if you've not been connecting quite right up until the end of your pregnancy, and perhaps you've even waited the 6 weeks before you started connecting with the abdominal muscles, your core muscles, which I don't agree with. And also this area as well, particularly after C-section and below the scar, can still be quite numb for a long time. So again, that's making it much harder for your brain to connect with the transverse and pelvic floor muscles correctly. Okay, so again, it's working really slowly. Okay, taking each day a step at a time and just trying to really ingrain those new neural patterns so the brain will start using the lower, your deep core muscles once again. And you can make a big difference. I've seen it with clients. In fact, somebody posted, I've not even gone and had a chance to look at it. Somebody posted on the Birth to Fit Mum program with some amazing results today. She has done so well. I will post that on the main page soon. It's just fantastic. But yeah, so that's why the C-sections can make it much harder for you to connect with your transverse abdominals. So it's just about taking it a little bit slower and making sure that you're following the right program soon after birth. The Birth to Fit Mum can be started 2 to 3 weeks following C-section. Okay, ideally, all mums should probably be following the Birth to Fit Mum program, depending on medical interventions, a couple of weeks after birth, which is ideal. It can be started at any time in 5 years, but ideally, a couple of weeks after birth is perfect for a full recovery. So let me know if you have any questions. I've not got any questions on YouTube, so that's all good. But yeah, go to the website with lots of questions. Please, if you think about any more questions, put them in the comments below, because I always answer them. Let all your friends know about pregnancyexercise.co.nz and our fabulous pre and postnatal exercise online programs. You can grab a discount today with the coupon code Coffee Chat. Okay, so if you want to use that discount on the Fit Mum, Birth to Fit Mum, or Super Fit Mum program today, go ahead and use it, because Super Fit Mum is going to be upgraded. So if you get that program, okay, the new program is going to be uploaded in a couple of weeks. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please share, please watch again if you need to. Have a fantastic day or evening, and I will talk to you all again soon. So next week's coffee chat will be on the exercises that you can do to help get rid of that last little bit of Mummy Twin. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining.